Only tonight at 6 on WHAS 11 News, retired Nelson County Sheriff's Detective Jon Snow speaking for the first time since the sentencing of the man involved in the murder of Crystal Rogers. He was an original on the case, the early evidence laying the foundation to indict Brooks Houck and accomplices Joseph and Steve Lawson. WHAS 11's Alexandra Goldberg and photojournalist Jessica Farley have exclusive details about Snow's investigation.
This case represents, in all genuineness, even though I stopped working at 5 years in, 10 years of occupying my brain.
Detective Jon Snow led the investigation into the disappearance of Crystal Rogers in the beginning years, his team laying the groundwork to eventually convict 3 men in her murder.
This is probably a once-in-a-100-year case. Most detectives will never see a case this complicated. Thankfully so. They don't want to.
Snow sat down with Rogers' ex-boyfriend Brooks Houck on July 8, 2015, just days after she was reported missing.
I'm going to take a minute here and read through your statement.
What stood out to you during that interview?
Mr. Houck spent a considerable amount of time writing out his written statement, which I requested him to do. It was very vacant of any specific details about what he had done on the day that Crystal went missing, which is, you know, a red flag.
Snow asked Houck about a 13-second phone call at midnight with accomplice Steve Lawson.
Hey, Steve!
The night Rogers was last seen.
Did you believe that phone call with Steve Lawson was staged?
Absolutely. He acted like he didn't know whose phone number it was that called him at midnight until he called it, and Steve Lawson answered.
There was a second phone call during that interview.
There was.
That one staged as well?
No, I think that was a genuine. I think that was his brother Nick, and I think he was genuinely concerned because Mr. Houck had been there too long by his estimation, and I think he was concerned about what he might say.
If you're telling me to leave, I'll get up and leave.
When he hung up, he said that he's worried that you're going to screw us. Not me, us.
How was Houck named the primary suspect so early in the investigation and the indictment took so long?
It is entirely up to a prosecutor as to when or whether or not they take a case to the grand jury. We disagreed on that, I'll say. He and I disagreed on whether or not we had enough to indict him.
Snow was a part of the early searches here at the Houck family farm.
This property is the last property that she was seen at, as far as we've been told.
Did you ever feel like you got close to anything?
It is entirely possible with the right forensic knowledge and enough time to completely dispose of the physical evidence. What we believed that they were planning this out for weeks in advance.
Houck and co-conspirators Steve and Joseph Lawson were found guilty in a circumstantial case. No body, no crime scene, no confession, no motive.
Do you think that we'll ever solidify what a potential motive would be?
The only people that know have no incentive to tell us.
There was a notable absence in the courtroom. Rogers' father, Tommy Ballard, never gave up searching for his daughter. He was murdered on a hunting trip about a year after she disappeared.
I think he would want the fight to continue until we felt like everybody who was responsible for his daughter's death was brought to justice.
You think more people are to come?
We'll see.
He says who, and even the question of if or when, is a question for the prosecutor.
Do you think this is a family affair?
I think that there's more to the story.
In Nelson County, Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS 11, on your side.
By the way, we have an extended version of this interview with Detective Jon Snow on the WHAS 11 Plus app.